Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Tennessee Valley This Morning. I'm Rob Alderman. With me, as always, my stalwart traveling companion, the Hollywood Slinky, who now picks a topic. Ready, go.
Earlier this month at the San Francisco International Airport, a gentleman by the name of John Falcon was frisked by the TSA. As it turns out, Jonah Falcon happens to be the man with the world's largest male part. He was asked by the TSA agent, quote, do you have some sort of growth? Well, my friend, indeed he did. The question for you, Rob, is this. Is this the one time when someone should have asked for the full body scanner instead of the pat down?
TSA, you had this one coming. All right? All I have to say is you thought you could just get away with doing what you wanted, frisking anybody you want. Well, the joke's on you, my friend. Because let me tell you, there was nobody in that airport that wasn't embarrassed except for the one guy being frisked.
Not all biological threats are terrorist attacks.
So now here's the thing. Is we're saying this is the man with the world's largest known?
That is what
Currently
they are
right
saying.
now? Yeah, you picked the wrong guy. And you picture this guy. Here we go again. You know what I mean? Like, what's he going to say? Yeah, it's hard to say on public television everything that I would like to say about the subject. Here's what I'm saying.
Is it a weapon of mass conception?
I remember.
That is the question, really.
We got a big show coming up.
The biggest show in the world.
And if the TSA shows up, you're all going to know just how big this show is.
I want to see some nature.
We have some big news, some previews. We're going to talk about stuffed animals. We're going to talk about adults who play games.
But can we see some nature?
Joe, show us some nature.
Seriously, Joe.
Joe, show us some nature.
Fantastic. Oh man, these quotes are fantastic. Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning. My friend Rob has now gotten a hold of the
I had the
article
press release
about Jonah Falcon.
I got the press release in front of me. This is my favorite one. One of the guards asked if my pockets were empty, and I said yes. What you didn't say, here's what we didn't know before, is that it's not just that the TSA was frisking him. They were frisking him because they actually thought he was smuggling something in his pants. Yeah. So this is
the San Francisco International Airport could not be reached for comment.
It's time for the big news.
Oh my goodness! You know what's so awesome about the big news, Rob?
Why don't you tell me?
The thing that's so awesome about the big news is the big news is brought to you every day by the Cleveland Daily Banner. This is by far, of all the newspapers that are still printed in Cleveland on a daily basis, my favorite.
It is also my favorite. And let me tell you, it's so my favorite that I'm glad to let you know what the big news is today, my friend.
I would like to know.
Because the biggest news in the banner is the banner.
The heck you say.
The heck I do say. Here's the deal, Daily Banner readers, friends, and fans. The headline of the Daily Banner reads, "It's a banner year." Like we didn't know that. Yoink! Yoink! Cleveland Daily Banner editors, staff writers, and photographers have earned a record 9 newspaper awards, including 4 first-place honors in the 2012 Tennessee State Newspaper Contest sponsored by the University of Tennessee and the Tennessee Press Association. So you know what I have to say?
This is for you, Stephen Crass.
Stephen,
bravo.
I've asked you on this show time and time again. I'm asking you one more time.
And bring those trophies.
Bring those trophies. Come be on our show.
And if there weren't trophies, bring a little bitterness about there not being trophies, because we'll talk about that.
That would be awesome. You don't have any bitterness because you're winning so many awards. Word. But, did you see that? Sorry. I'm going to do the Jimmy
Logan.
Hey, everybody. Jimmy Logan.
What else we got?
It goes downhill from here. This is real news. It's sad, though, but obviously this week the story everybody's been watching is that Tasha Moses Bates has been charged with 2 counts of felony murder stemming from the death of her 2 small children, River Bates, 3, and Leland Bates, 5, who died of hypothermia in late June. For those of you that have been following the story, originally it was believed that the boys had been outside playing on a slip and slide for 30 to 45 minutes
and it was
while she was inside.
Right, and it was too hot.
It was too hot. But the investigation now at this point is pointing towards, we're not going to say that it is this. Obviously, this will go to court.
Allegedly.
But allegedly that the boys were actually left in a car and then taken out to the water slide and then put back in the car to drive for help. So she is being held without bond. She was arrested Wednesday. In much, much happier news, we got a new South Cleveland pool that opens up today.
Yay!
The new pool and splash park at South Cleveland Community Center opens at 11 o'clock today. The Cleveland City Council is going to hold a ribbon cutting ceremony at 11, and after that, the whole council is going to swim. No more talk of the wheel tax. Let's swim it out. Let's swim it out, City Council.
I don't think they're going to swim.
I think they should.
I think they should as well.
If I was at the grand opening of a new pool that's going to have a water slide, aquatic climbing wall, and a splash park.
I want to see the entire Cleveland City Council showing up in their finest bikinis and Speedos and swimming it out for the wheel tax.
You know, the only one that's got the guts to do that's Roland. He's not on the City Council, but city mayor.
Sure.
Roland's not afraid. He'd show up in his Speedos and swim it out.
Absolutely.
Entry fees for the pool are going to be $2 for children 12 and under, $3 for adults. The pool's open from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 1 to 5 on Sunday. Slinky, hit me with some national news.
Ann Romney, of course, Mitt's wife, has said, "We have given all you people need to know concerning their refusal to make public their tax returns." She told ABC News, quote, "We've given all you people need to know."
This is what I like about national politics.
I like when rich Republicans refer to me as you people.
Well,
that always makes me
I like
feel
being
better.
you people also. You're the richest Republican I hang out with. But here's what I'm going to say about this. And, dear Ann, when you're running for president, when your husband's running for president, there's never all you need to know. Like, this is what we should learn. Good grief, Joe! This mic keeps falling off, Joe.
It doesn't like you.
No, that's never happened before.
Well, here's what I say to you, Ann. Ann, listen carefully. The day that you provide the rest of your taxes is the day that Obama
I knew you were going
will provide his birth certificate.
I knew you were going to go
One
there.
for the other, baby.
I knew you were going.
How could you not?
Set up, you know what would be awesome?
We'll bring them. And
you bring
Barack,
you bring your tax returns and your birth certificates here.
Right here on
We'll
this
do like
show.
this.
It'll be special. It'll be a 2-part edition. We'll start with the mud wrestling for wheel tax, and then we'll end with tax returns and birth certificates for presidencies.
Heck yes, we will. But I mean, seriously, we see this with, like, is there ever a president where it's enough's enough? That's why I'd never want to be president. It's awesome to be the most powerful man in the world. It's not that awesome to be the most exposed man in the world. I mean, how do you
Unless you're Jonah
That's what I was
Fowler.
going to say. Like, unless you're walking through the airport, the TSA says, "Are your pants empty? Or your pockets empty?"
This one's my favorite national story.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of this.
This one's good.
Woman dials 911 with mugshot beef. Tanya Ann Fowler dialed police Sunday evening after spotting her mugshot photo in Bad and Busted, a local publication that compiles images of recent arrestees. The photo was so displeasing to Fowler that she called 911 to complain. In a conversation with police, Fowler explained that she was upset about how she looked on the front page of Bad and Busted's printing. As a result, Fowler was granted the wonderful opportunity to pose for a fresh booking photo as she was charged with unlawful use of 911.
This is almost as good as when we had the update on the Unabomber. When the Unabomber got to update his own college resume or his own college bio. Remember
in the reunion book.
Yeah,
right.
remember when we broke that news? So here's the deal. I love the fact that Tanya Ann Fowler was displeased. Now, we've all seen these magazines, and don't pretend that you don't. All right? There's no one out there, I don't care how cool you think you are, that when you're inside paying for your gas or your beef jerky or whatever it is you're getting in the gas station, that you don't walk over to the Busted magazine, look at it. So many people look at it that really big on the front, they say not to look at it. They're like, don't look at this. They put a bunch of people on the front. I always look to see if it's Jimmy Logan or Steve Hartline.
Well,
right? I mean, there
who doesn't?
Frequent flyer miles in the Bad and Busted. But the thing is, you know who's never in it? The Matts. So we better never be in it. The Matts are never in it.
You have to be very careful. No,
Matt and Matt are never in it. I'm just saying, in our quest to become the dominant Cleveland, Robin Ryan, man, ours.
Then at some point
we're
going to need to buy skin-tight triathlete gear to compete with them.
What do you mean at some point? Anyway, so I love the fact that Tanya Fowler says, I dislike my photo. I dislike my photo so much, I'll commit a new crime. That's going after your dreams, Tanya Fowler. And you are headed to mid-management somewhere.
That's right.
Out there somewhere for you is a mid-management job, maybe is like the person who locks up the gas station at night. And you're going to get to see all of the Bad and Busted, all you want, forever, because you've got gumption. And we support it here.
That's right.
We support it here. Hit me with some Hollywood news.
All right, in Hollywood, Marvel Comics have announced their next 2 years' worth of movie schedules for superheroes at Comic-Con this week.
True.
In 2013, they're releasing The Wolverine and the sequel to Thor called The Dark World. In 2014, they're releasing Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier, which I know you're excited about.
Super excited. We'll talk about it later.
They're also going to be releasing The Amazing Spider-Man 2, X-Men First Class 2, and a little thing called Guardians of the Galaxy, which is one of those comic books that Marvel thinks everyone loves, but nobody's actually ever heard of.
I'll tell you this, Rocket Raccoon is in that one.
Everybody says...
But it's because Rocket Raccoon had his own 4-part miniseries. That was good. But Guardians of the Galaxy, no mas.
Yeah.
In other news, the Emmys happened. Mad Men won everything. Who cares?
Well, they were nominated for everything.
Yeah, like 17.
Right. So they're gonna win everything.
They shared with somebody else who also got 17.
Yeah.
Was it Breaking Bad, maybe?
I think so.
So AMC, ha ha ha, you win again.
Yeah.
This last one's big.
Fred Willard, he was a television comedian. He was caught with his pants down, charged by undercover officers with lewd conduct at the Tiki Theater in L.A. He apparently...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to... Here's what we're going to say about this. When this happened to Pee Wee Herman, everybody was like, what the... Joe! 3 times. Oh, I need to tie this to my chest hair. Joseph, fix my mic. Joseph. Here's the deal. When Pee Wee Herman was caught doing this, everybody was like, "Ay," because Pee Wee Herman has a kid's show.
Right.
And it was just...
It's like, that's disturbing.
Yeah. Fred Willard.
You kind of go, okay, I see that.
Right. Yeah,
Sure.
This is the thing about Fred Willard. Do you remember Fred Willard in what was the Best in Show?
Yeah.
Fred, that's what I picture is Fred Willard in Best in Show when he's sitting there as the other commentator who doesn't actually know anything about dogs.
Right.
And he turns to the guy and he goes, "So how much do you bench press?" You know what I mean? That's the Fred Willard that I picture in my head getting caught at the Tiki Theater with his pants down, and I'm kind of like, yeah, yeah.
All right, and of course, lastly, Snooki, still pregnant. We
We'll
got a
be
great show.
Back after this with Pete Vanderpool, the Santa Project later on.
At
Matthew
Crawford
Kerman.
Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Bradley County is home to a community of resilient, compassionate families who want the best for each other. The tragedies of the April 27, 2011 tornadoes brought our community together to bring aid to the hurting and helpless. It is time to come together once more. The Bradley County school system is underfunded, and our future leaders are receiving their education in substandard learning environments. On August 2nd, you will have an opportunity to further impact our great community by voting for the wheel tax. A vote for the wheel tax will not only rebuild Blue Springs Elementary School, but it will provide a new facility that is engineered to meet the demands that technology places on the infrastructure. The overcrowded Walker Valley High School students and teachers will have much-needed space and be able to use academic rooms for their intended purposes. The students and teachers of Lake Forest Middle School will no longer endure the hazardous conditions caused by the elements of nature and deteriorating classroom buildings. British philosopher Herbert Spencer stated, "The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action." Would you take action in the name of education and vote yes for the wheel tax? A vote for the wheel tax is a vote for the children and the future of Bradley County.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning's Friday Morning Lights Camera Cleveland edition. Rob has went to the little boy's room and has left me here with the little boy's toys. So I'm the Hollywood Slinky, and joining me now is Joyce and Pete Vanderpool. And
hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
We're glad to be here.
Hi
there. Yes, it's good to see you.
So, well, you've brought a ton of stuffed animals with you this morning. Why don't you tell us what you've brought?
Well, these animals are donated from wonderful people around the area. They are for children who are having a traumatic experience. The company that has started this thing is called SAFE. It's Stuffed Animals for Emergencies. When some child gets pulled out of their home at 2 o'clock in the morning and they don't have time to grab anything, then when they get out to the police car, all of the Bradley County Sheriff's Departments have a box in the back, and they're given one of these. They range from this size down to this size. As a matter of fact, we even have Beanie Babies. But the idea is that children really need something to hang on to at that point in time, and that's what this is all about.
So what made you guys decide to start this program? Did you both, this is something that you two started with the Santa Project?
We didn't start it, we found it.
Okay.
And it's a national program.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, he's friendly.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You sure?
It's a national program, and you can go to their website and see a lot of the information about it. There's chapters all over the country. There are, at last count, 5 in Tennessee. We're the only one in this area. And somebody else had started it and then decided that they couldn't keep up with it, so we didn't want it to drop. And we said, who better to play with stuffed animals and collect them for kids than Santa Claus? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So,
Hey, this one says chicks rule.
Give that one to Ryan.
I was just kind of becoming attached to the bunny here.
Oh,
though.
okay, well, I'll keep the chick over here. That's okay.
One thing about SAFE is they have some pretty stringent rules. What we do is we collect new or gently used stuffed animals. And we have to inspect every one. We have to make sure they're clean and that they smell fresh. Do you smell good? Oh, okay. And then we count them. We keep an inventory. And we make sure that they stay clean before we give them out. Some people will only accept new ones. Other ones don't care if they've been gently used. But one of the things we have that you spoke about the Matt and Matt. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a partnership with United Way.
I'm sorry.
Yes, well, yes, some parts are better than other parts of the partnership. And what they do is they allow us to store our animals. Are we back to that first news item again?
Very nice. Well, some parts are better than others. Like
yeah.
When we have to deal with Alan Mincy, not so good. But the other parts, that's okay. You know, the great thing about working with the United Way is that every time you do any kind of collection, Alan is there to take the photos.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
you
I mean,
noticed
that's
that,
kind
yes.
of handy to have.
Well, I had a photo with me, but we can't show it. So we'll do. Well, we
That
could
didn't
show
sound
it.
good either.
We don't have the capability of showing it here. But- Hi, Rob.
Now, I'm not going to hijack this segment because that's not what I do.
Oh, yeah.
No. But I did think it was important, and I didn't want you guys to forget
Okay.
that your partnership with United Way, you guys are celebrating that in a really special way this year with the 2012. I don't think Ryan even knew this, but they've got a very special edition toy for that. So hold on, I'm going to show you the one that Matt Ryerson picked out for them that they're giving away in the name of the United Way. So hold on one second.
Got it.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is the prototype.
Oh, isn't she
Ah,
sweet?
yes. Aw.
Yeah. I think she's not available for donation.
Now, this has been lovingly crafted out of Matt Ryerson's own hair and skin
Ooh.
and body type.
So, for those of you who can't quite tell at home, this is a limited edition. It's the Patrick Long doll, basically.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. These are very limited. I'm gonna take this.
Right.
Well,
To get a good.
Get a grip.
all right.
That doll's wishing he had just had the full body scan done right now.
Oh my. Back to the serious
so
part.
you guys are collecting these stuffed animals, and they go in boxes in the trunks of police cars.
Well, in other places. They
Okay.
can go anywhere where a child might need them.
So there
Whether
would
it's
be
a
like-
mental health institution, they're in the care mobile, we donate them to churches, anybody who needs them. And I want people to contact us because we have a very good supply right now, and we need more people to take some of them to give to the kids.
Where can people get a hold of you at?
We have an email address. It's safe@thesantaproject.org. Just happen to have a little note over there, but it won't show. So, okay, that's safe@thesantaproject.org. He's doing his Vanna White thing. Okay, and then what happens is we have them stored at United Way, and people can drop them off or they can pick them up there. But they do need to contact us first.
Okay.
We don't want to surprise everybody at the United Way.
Sure.
Poor Darlene would be inundated with stuffed animals, and we don't want to do that.
And then you work with, I'm assuming then you also work with the folks at the police department to make sure all the cars have a supply of those in the trunks.
Anybody that wants them or needs them, and then we'll keep them supplied. Like, for instance, the care mobile has a very small storage compartment. So we give them only new Beanie Babies, and they take them a dozen at a time. Then we give them another dozen and keep it going. So.
And what kind of kids get these when something, what sort of events occur that warrants a situation where a child would necessitate one?
Well, at the care mobile, they're scared to death because they're in there for some medical reasons, and so a Beanie Baby to kind of go in through the process with them is comforting.
Sure.
And of course, the police. It could be an accident. It could be, like I said,
domestic issue or
yeah, and they have nothing, and they're
If they're pulled out of a meth home, for instance, they can't take anything with them.
Right.
So a stuffed animal becomes very important to them. What you need is for people to use their imagination where they think they can use stuffed animals to comfort a child.
Right.
And then contact us and we'll get them to you.
In a mental health situation, sometimes a child will be willing to talk to something like this where they wouldn't talk to a counselor.
Right.
So there are many, many situations where a stuffed animal would be appropriate, and we want people to know that we have some and are more than happy to get them. And right now, as Joyce said, we have a very good supply, but that can diminish real quickly, so don't give up on us, folks. We still will need.
I just thought of something, a new creative place we're going to be placing them. The Caring Place has a program called the Sack Pack, and Sack Packs are packages of food that go home with the kids on weekends if they need extra food for the weekends. And we thought, why should it always be serious stuff?
Sure.
So we have a lady who's donating her entire Beanie Baby collection,
Wow.
and we are immediately going to take 200 of them over to the Caring Place.
You're not going to check them to see what they're worth first and pull out the ones that are worth a lot of money first?
The bottom fell out of Beanie Babies a long time ago.
Well, I tell you, there was a time, though, when some of those were worth an awful lot of money.
Yes.
So, but that's exciting that someone's ready to part with that stuff. And
Right.
So if somebody, let's say someone watching has a bunch of, like a collection of brand new stuffed animals that have been on a shelf, or if somebody wants to, let's say, just go to Walmart and buy a few items, are they able to donate them to you?
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's
Safe at thesantaproject.org.
same project. They can just
Right.
email you, same process. They'll email you.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything is done through the website. It makes it easier for us. We don't have to answer phones and all that kind of stuff.
And can folks find that address at can they just go to thesantaproject.org and find it as well?
I don't think we've put a link on there, but we could do that.
We probably should do
Yes,
that.
we
yes.
should probably
We'll
do
get
that.
Rob in his spare time to come and take care of it. Yes. Boy, this thing this must have ADD. I mean, it's just, it's not sitting still. It's bouncing all around, checking stuff out.
Well,
yeah,
You'd be bouncing around too if you had a bear looking at you over there, or Rob Alderman showing up over your shoulder.
Well, the chick's rule. She did check out the other chick, didn't
There
she?
you go.
Yes.
Well, the Safe Project, it sounds like it's an awful lot of fun with an awful good.
It is.
I get criticized because when they come, I have to play with them, see if they're
I think
huggable.
you have to make sure they work.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
pre-tested.
true.
That's
Yes,
fair.
pre-tested. Yes.
It's very hard when we try to do inventories because I can't get him to quit playing.
And she counts, 1, 2. How many was that? Well, now we dig them out again. 1, 2.
I have a 3-year-old and my daughter. It's the same thing when we try to get her to put her toys away. She'll put one away and then see one in the box, and it comes back out with her.
Exactly.
That's the way it works.
So.
And by the way, this one probably is going to go to Alan Mincy.
Really?
Yes, he's a penguin person, and he was admiring this.
Oh.
So he's childlike enough that we can call him a child in need, can't we? And we'll send this one to Alan.
I think he'll like that.
Okay.
Well, is there anything else going on with the Santa Project you guys would like to talk about? We've got just another minute here if you'd like to share anything exciting going on.
Well, we have another program that we're just introducing now. It's called Time Slips. It's using creative storytelling in cases of dementia. We'd like to come back when I get a little bit more into that program and talk with you about that. Now,
Sure.
that's a serious program. That these are.
This is fun.
Well,
this
yes,
is,
it's
I
fun,
mean,
yes.
it's a serious good cause, but it's also a little fun.
Yes, yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yes.
Well, when we do the storytelling and story gathering with time slips, the people who are participating have a wonderful time.
Sure.
And they laugh and just thoroughly enjoy themselves. So, but the subject itself is serious.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on and talking with us,
We
or with
appreciate you
me, I
having
guess
us.
now. So,
Yeah.
but again, that email address is safe, S-A-F-E, safe at thesantaproject.org.
Yeah,
Right.
make sure it's the Santa Project. If
Or
you
you'll
leave
go
out
to
the the,
Japan.
you'll never. Yeah, who knows?
All right. Well, before we go, we always ask our guests 4 questions. So I'm going to ask you, and you guys can just pool your answers together. Okay?
Yes, no, maybe, sometimes.
All right. We'll be no. We always ask, what is your favorite movie of all time? You can answer as a couple. That's
Oh, my favorite, and yours are probably 2 different ones. My
Yeah.
favorite is Sister Act.
Mine's on Golden Pond.
sure. Both good ones. Okay. What do you think is the best movie ever made?
Whoa. Who knows?
Citizen Kane's always safe on this show.
No, you sure?
That's what.
I like Singing in the Rain. I think that's a classic.
That's a good one.
Yep.
All right.
Any of the musicals. There have been some wonderful musicals
Sure.
done, and I can't nail one down that I could
What
say
do
I
you,
like better than
what do you
others.
think is the funniest movie ever made?
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam.
I agree
Sure,
with
that's
that
a good one.
I agree with that
All right,
one.
and then the last one is, what movie have you seen more times than any other?
The Arrival of Santa Claus at the Mall.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. And again, safe at thesantaproject.org. If you are a part of an organization that could use some stuffed animals to give out to kids who are in situations where they could need them, or if you have stuffed animals that are brand new or very gently used, you can contact them at safe at thesantaproject.org, and they will take them or give them out.
Right.
And,
And by the way, if they're not good enough, they will still get a good home. They can go to animal shelters.
Sure.
So we don't waste any of them.
All right, well, that's
Okay.
good to know. All right, well, we'll be right back. Coming up next is Matthew Curvin, who is a LARPer. So don't go away. You'll want to see that.
Hello, I'm Robert Thompson. I'm a partner here at the law firm of Logan Thompson, and I've been practicing law for about 25 years. I focus primarily on complex litigation cases involving serious personal injury. To establish liability, it's important that we thoroughly investigate your case. And we're fortunate here at Logan Thompson to have a full-time investigator on staff. And once we establish liability, next we turn to the issue of damages. Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to be compensated for 5 elements of damages. The first is property damage, and then your medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, and loss of enjoyment of life. If you or a family member have been injured in an automobile accident and would like to sit down and discuss with us what you're entitled to, please give us a call at your convenience. There's no charge for the initial consultation. I'm Robert Thompson with the law firm Logan Thompson, and we'd be honored to help you.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Once I've painted, then it can do something we can make fun of.
I will take the ring to the gates of Mordor. I'm wearing this mask.
And I'm wearing this mask.
And this is Matt, a.k.a. Dust Bunny,
And I'm not sure how they lured me onto this show.
who is going to be talking, I guess, about LARPing.
That's right. Well, why don't we start with, tell us what a LARP is.
LARP is live action role playing. It's dressing up in a costume based on the genre of the game, going out to wherever they have it and just role-playing as though you were that character that you made up.
You know, a lot of people, Matt, that are in relationships all around Bradley County call that Friday night. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, nobody who LARPs is in a relationship.
That's and that is actually true. I'm glad we've had so many of these kind of guests on the show. But continue.
This game that I'm particularly a part of is called Heroics. We have a game here in Chattanooga, or well, down in Chattanooga, I should say, that's called Hashonen. It's a steampunk fantasy LARP. And we run off a system where we use Nerf guns and foam weapons and foam shields as the weapons for the game.
Mask. I don't want it to get hurt.
This is awesome.
The weapon you're holding is a latex. It's something you can buy on many different websites, Museum Replicas, a few others, but it's the high dollar things.
It's nice.
The weapon he's holding is a foam smithed. It's done by a guy that plays the game with us. His name's John Kozel.
You call this, when you make it yourself, it's called foam smithed?
It's foam smithing, because you can make a simple piece.
You know, like
I call it homemade.
it's like iron smithing. It's like being a smith, an ironsmith, but with foam. That took like 5 of my hit points, dude. How active do you get with this? Like when you hit somebody with this?
In our game, it's lightest touch, so if we come at you, we may be swinging full speed, but we'll end with a quick tap. You know, you might feel a slight pop. The adrenaline gets going. You might feel a pop, but the weapons are soft enough.
You just took all my mana.
I mean, the most fun is getting out there with your friends, and there's about 60 of us in a group that get out there, and we just go all weekend from Friday night until Sunday morning.
Whoa!
There was a bullet in there.
Whoa! I'm sorry, bro. I think I just lost. We're gonna put this here. I didn't realize this weapon was cocked and loaded, camera 2. I didn't realize that happened.
10 hit points off
I
of camera
know. Well,
2.
the bad thing is the next time he goes into battle against an orc.
I didn't see it fall.
No, I didn't either. Like he'll be fighting an orc or a troll or a cyber ghost.
Here, we can just heal it there.
There we go. Look at that.
It's all healed.
Lightning bolt. Yeah, listen. For those of you who haven't seen this, I want you to go to YouTube right now, and I want you to just Google lightning bolt. Or YouTube lightning bolt. YouTube search lightning bolt. That will be fantastic. So, so you guys, is this happen in the woods?
We play usually at Harrison Base Group Campground or Booker T's Group Shelter. We're rented out for the weekend, and we supply a tavern, and then there's a crew that runs the plot and the monsters, and that's where I'm at. I'm part of Hashonen's plot team and the guy who runs Monster Town.
So you're a storyteller.
Yeah. You run a thing called Monster Town?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Monster Town is a glorified trailer with a bunch of costumes, weapons, and masks that I get to periodically change out and go attack more people.
So you become there's a story going on. These
Yes.
people are involved in a story, and then what happens is you are the monsters that attack them, so they can have a good time.
Yes.
Is this something that you have to be heavily involved in, or could you just go do it on a weekend you're free?
You could do it on a weekend you're free. We usually have, the local game usually has about 7 games, 8 games a year. 1 game a month is the most we try to get in, and we'll run maybe $35 for one person for the event, or for $5 you can come out and Monster. You'll get a discount with food. The $5 only covers the insurance in case you lose an arm or a leg. We do have a 2 appendage minimum or maximum though, so if you lose 2 arms and a leg, we can only replace 2 of those.
Now my question is, what monster am I if I'm in a monster trailer? Let's say you and me are hanging out in the monster trailer, and the storyteller shows up and he's like, Dust Bunny, it's time to send Rob the monster out to attack the LARPers. And I put on this mask right here.
I'd throw a green tabard on you with some leaves and flowers on it, and you'd be a shambling mound. You'd be a shambling pile of plant. Going into the town to find
for every time I heard someone call you a shambling mound.
So I go into the town and steal people's orchids and azaleas or their hanging plants.
No, you protect
I'm like, ha ha, housewives, you're not beautifying the front of this village.
hopefully you'll protect those and steal the ham off the table, or just grab one of the people playing
I'm a meat eater.
and kill them.
How do you like that?
Shambling mounds all eat meat.
This sword right here, if I were to hit Slinky with this sword, like that, how many hit points did he just lose?
Base strength, you lost 2 points.
But how many did I
You
have?
lost 2 points.
It depends on your race and your
4,
class.
6, 8.
And it depends on race, class, and level. And you can be.
I'm white.
You're white, obviously. That means you get -2 hit points. I'm sorry.
Means, you know what that means? Like, the fact that he's white means that he does no damage. Does no damage.
Special ability, can't dance.
Can't dance.
All right, so let me ask you this: what is the age range? Like, what's your youngest player and what's your oldest player?
Yeah, because my 4 and 8-year-old would love this.
Our youngest current player is 14. The youngest we've had is 14. We try to put a limit on that for insurance reasons again. And we've got guys out there that are 60 years old.
Like professionals, or do they still live with their parents?
No, these are,
And I actually didn't mean that meanly.
No, most of these guys are either computer technicians, or we've got a lot of nurses. We've got a lot of entrepreneurs. We've got a few chefs. I mean, anybody of any walk of life
talk
comes
about
out
gateway
there.
drugs out in the world. Gateway drugs. And we say that, for instance, somebody's doing a cocaine. Horrible. And we say, you know what? They would have never done that cocaine if they hadn't smoked that weed. Right?
Yeah.
This seems to me like the cocaine of games. Like you start playing World of Warcraft or something on your computer, and it's eventually not good enough. So instead of stabbing people on a computer, you're like, you know what? If I went out and I hit somebody with a foam smith sword and I took Ryan's 2 points, then I'd feel better. And then what I think is you do this for a while, and then this isn't enough, Matt. After a while, you're like, I got to stab somebody with a real sword.
We've already got that. That level's been taken care of. The Society for Creative Anachronisms get you out there with Rutan swords and real armor.
So there you go. So you could take this all the way.
You could go all the way. You could go all the way with this.
So how did you get into
I picture legions of angry plant monsters all throughout Chattanooga with real swords stabbing.
You forgot
Die, shambling horde.
Yeah, how'd you get into this?
I started off with Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. I got into World of Warcraft, and I've always preferred getting out and being more physically active. This game was introduced to me when I was about 15. It was under another name by Nero, and I just went out and I've been playing since. Been playing for about 10 or 11 years now.
I've heard of Nero.
Yeah, Nero's a pretty big.
Somebody made a documentary movie about Nero.
Nero was the one of the games that we started off with, and we kind of splintered off into Heroic. Started for new rule systems, for new reasons, to bring in more people into the game. Nero's still around. We still have many friends that play both games, but it was just something for the people that were telling stories that Nero wanted to do their own rules, so they started this up.
So let's say Rob and I woke up and decided we wanted to come play.
And by that he means we really do want to do this.
What's the first step? Like, do I have to have a PVC pipe wrapped in foam before I can come out?
The best thing you can do is go onto the websites, heroicinteractivetheater.net or heroicit.net, I believe, and you look up the rule system, see a rule system that appeals to you, because there's hit points and there's hit location. You find the rule system and you figure out what genre it is. Like ours is fantasy or steampunk. And then you start finding costuming. There's local costumers around town. You can always do Beauty of the Beast down in Red Bank. There's also Cobalt Costuming, a brand new online costuming store located in Chattanooga that's doing a lot of the simple garb, the wrap pants, the Renaissance shirts.
I want wrap pants like MC Hammer.
No. Those are parachute pants. Wrap pants you can open up on the side real easy.
Oh, so they're like Chippendale pants.
Exactly.
Here's my
Easy
question,
access.
Magic Mike. Here's the thing. Let me ask you this. There's some chainmail. I don't know if our viewers can hear this. That's not doing any damage because he's wrapped in chainmail. You got a glove here that I'm assuming you punch bad guys with. And then this thing that protects you in case I try to stab you in the shoulder. You got a sweet headband, a purple shirt. These guys here. So my question is, I'm ready to go. How much money am I going to pay for a sweet getup like that?
And how much of that did you make yourself?
Honestly, the only things I really made myself is the glove. A lot of this stuff, and that's one thing about getting into the game, is there's going to be a lot of people to give you costuming. This was, I got this at Connuga at a charity auction for $25. The shirt and the pants were given to me, but Cobalt Costuming sells the pants for $10 and the shirt for $15, maybe $20 depending on which how big you are. The chainmail vest was given to me. It's 14 gauge galvanized steel, and it's just passed down by the bigger players, the older players who can't wear that stuff anymore.
So it's like what I used to wear when I was like 8. And I'm like, here you go, my chainmail. I killed many dragons in this chainmail.
Yes. I passed on a leather vest. And
the longer you've played, I imagine the better your costume gets. And so you don't want the cheap stuff in.
I want to say something because this happened before we were Lord and Masters of this show. A couple of years ago, I went to Connuga or NugaCon, one of those. There's 2 of them.
Chattacon?
There's a...
Chattacon.
Right. Which one did I go to?
You went to Connuga.
All right. I went to Connuga a couple years ago, and I got to say this. That's some fun mess. Okay?
Yes.
Listen, you cannot spend a better weekend. I don't care if you're into this stuff or not. If you like anything that has to do with movies or monsters or Star Wars or something, so like all this stuff you're wearing, it was everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, so like if you have to go...
You won a lightsaber contest one year at Connuga, the year we were there, right?
I am the last saber idol of Connuga.
So you were there when I was there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I probably watched you destroy your enemies. I want to tell you guys out here, camera 2, this is an important piece of news. Connuga needs to get on their schedule, right? Like let's say I'm saying, you know what, I'm not quite ready yet. But when I do it, I want to do it right. That's where you go. Because I saw like all sorts of, there were people dressed like fairies and, you know, I mean like, you know what I'm saying.
And that's the other thing. We do have LARP demos at the cons. Connuga is March 1st through the 3rd, and we'll have, I think, 2 or 3 demos for Heroics International. And we're trying to set up some with the werewolf game that's in town with the with Nero and with Exodune, the other steampunk LARP, to get the names out there and get more people who are interested in this.
So there are a lot more games than just the one that you
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's say...
How many people normally? Can I ask that first? He's got a question, but how many people normally show up to one of these?
The Chattanooga game, we have an average of 40 people every game.
That's a lot of geeks.
The McMinnville game is the biggest surprise.
No, I mean that. No, you know what?
Geek is hip now.
People at
Geek
home,
is hip now. Those of you that were like, don't make fun of my grandson. Right. Like, no, we get it. Like, he loves it now. Don't worry, Grandma. Like, he digs it now.
Climate has changed a lot. It's part of the reason why you have people in their 50s and 60s playing, is the culture has changed. You know, my parents wouldn't have been caught dead doing something like that.
Right.
But people in our generation, we don't, you know.
I'm saying you go to one of these places and see some of these people dressed up like Wonder Woman or Catwoman, and you're going to be going back to Connuga a lot.
Yes.
Or never go back again.
There it is. See what I...
Because I've seen some of those women.
Well, you're talking about when you're talking about when I went.
Talking about the shambling mounds.
Whitneyed.
So let's say somebody wants to get involved in this. They can go to the website, which is heroicsit.net.
There's also the Heroics website on Facebook. If you're Facebook savvy, Heroics Interactive Theater has shown in Heroic Interactive Theater. There's 3 Tennessee chapters of Heroics. You can look up Nero New England Role Playing Organization. You can look up Exodune. Those are mostly based out of Georgia. And
you could also Google people who've never had a girlfriend space Chattanooga.
Ouch.
Wow.
I kid!
20% of our players are girls.
That's a pretty good gene pool option.
When's your next game?
Our next game, we've got our next game in September. There's, I believe it's the 3rd weekend of September. We try to keep it off of the 1st weekend because of Dragon Con in Atlanta.
Is that steampunk or is that the medieval stuff?
It's steam.
Do you have to choose? If I start a steampunk medieval game where you're like this, do I get all the players?
Aren't you and your boy going to be time-traveling bounty hunters?
We are, actually. At the next Connuga, we're time-traveling bounty hunters. Did you know that?
That works.
You didn't even know it. We're time traveling. I'm actually like his bodyguard. I'm like that guy, but he is a time traveling bounty hunter who goes back in time with his net gun to bring people to justice. So like, let's say that you are the Confederacy and you want to hire, let's say you're a guy that you wish the South had won the war. You can hire my son to go back in time and kidnap Abraham Lincoln for his crimes against the Confederacy. He'll do that for you, and he won't feel bad about it because he's a time-traveling bounty hunter. You know where he got that idea? Chattanooga.
Yes.
So do you have to pick one? Steampunk?
No, the local one is steampunk, medieval, and Weird West, Wild West.
All together?
Yes.
So like the steampunk guy fights.
The idea is that the primary world you're in, the culture is just now changing from the medieval swords and shields and magic to steampunk technology and guns. And then there's a Wild West field because we're trying to do the frontier games.
Because Cowboys are awesome.
That's why.
All right, so what's the website one more time?
HeroicsIT.net.
All right, and then I guess then we're going to just have to ask you the questions.
Right.
Do it.
All right, this is going to be interesting. All right, what is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie of all time is, it's honestly a split between Return of the Jedi and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No surprise there. Question 2.
Question 2, what is the best movie ever made?
The best movie ever made? That's a hard decision.
It's a toss-up, right, between Star Wars and Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Rocky Horror is a horrible movie made. Honestly, Lord of the Rings, the trilogy that they did recently, that was well made.
What do you think's the funniest movie ever made?
Funniest movie ever made? Spaceballs.
And what movie have you seen more times than any other?
Lord of War.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, I do know what that is.
That's right, Arms Dealer. That's not a bad choice.
All right. Well, thanks for. I started to say thanks for coming out of the closet of costuming.
That went all kinds of bad. We'll just end by saying this, Matt. Thanks for being on the show. If you dig guns and swords and you want to hit people or shoot people, hook up with Matt. Go to his website. Hit up Chattanooga. We got commercials.
Woo! 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. Oh.
Hello, I'm Robert Thompson. I'm a partner here at the law firm of Logan Thompson, and I've been practicing law for about 25 years. I focus primarily on complex litigation cases involving serious personal injury. To establish liability, it's important that we thoroughly investigate your case. And we're fortunate here at Logan Thompson to have a full-time investigator on staff. And once we establish liability, next we turn to the issue of damages. Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to be compensated for 5 elements of damages. The first is property damage, and then your medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, and loss of enjoyment of life. If you or a family member have been injured in an automobile accident and would like to sit down and discuss with us what you're entitled to, please give us a call at your convenience. There's no charge for the initial consultation. I'm Robert Thompson with the law firm Logan Thompson, and we'd be honored to help you.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning. Who are you? I'm Batman. Camera one, this is very important. You need to know this. He's Batman. You know, Ryan, for the last 10 years, the Batman saga's been going, and I've been talking like this for the last 10 years. How's that been working out for you? I need a cough drop.
You know what we're saying here, right? You know.
This week, the only movie for the preview review, what is it again?
I'm Batman.
Is Batman, The Dark Knight Rises.
Now, we've been reporting on this for 5 years.
Wait, Alan Mincy would be really, really, really upset if you didn't tell us what segment this was.
The preview review.
All right, now, go ahead.
All right, on the preview review, we talked to you about movies we have not yet seen, but we've seen the previews and we've read the reviews, and now we're going to tell you if you should go spend your money. But we don't need to tell you if you need to spend your money this weekend. You want to know how I know?
Because you saw it last night at midnight.
You have already spent your money. This has been sold out across the country for 4 months.
It's true.
In Chattanooga, they started, yesterday evening, right? They started at 4 o'clock. And played all the Batman movies back to back.
That's right.
Going into the new one. So, we can't tell you what to do, Chattanooga, Cleveland.
You've already done it.
You're supposed to wait.
But that's all right. We're going to go ahead and we'll humor you a little. This is, of course, the third film
final
in the Christopher Nolan Batman series. It follows, of course, Batman Begins and Batman: The Dark Knight. In this one, Anne Hathaway plays Catwoman, and
Christian Bale is still Batman.
Tom Hardy plays Bane, who, by the way, if you're following the news, you know Bane is actually it's a metaphor for Mitt Romney.
We can't even talk about that right now. Go to my Facebook if you want to know about that. Okay. Sir Michael Caine is in this film.
Mm-hmm. The only person missing from this film is Katie Holmes.
The little guy we like so much.
Because I miss Katie Holmes.
What's the name of the little guy that we like so much who was Inception?
Jonathan Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in this film.
That's right.
You have every good reason in the world to see this film. The first trailer that came out was Everything else since the first trailer, which was released a year ago, has gotten it went from huh, whoa, what?
Awesome. Fanboy anticipation for this movie is so great that as soon as the first professional movie critics gave it negative reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, film fanboys went ballistic and started giving them death threats to the point where Rotten Tomatoes had to shut down the comments section.
But here's the thing. There have not been that many negative film reviews.
No, there's been 4.
Most people love this film, to be fair.
Most professional critics have said, not as good as Dark Knight.
Right.
Still amazing.
So really quickly, what are you going to give it? I'm
going to give it a great because, I'm going to go see it. It's going to be strange to see it in a post-Avengers world.
Right, but completely different movie. I think people are going to go into this film and they're going to find out what kind of superhero movie they like to watch.
That's right.
You're either going to be like an Avengers person or a Dark Knight Rises person. And it's not that you can't like both. It's just that you're not going to completely love.
That's right. So until next time, I am Tree Man and I love Cleveland.
I'm Batman and I love Cleveland. I can't get this thing back on my face.
Let's all love Cleveland together.